Don't scroll, because this message has been hunting for you. Don't skip this, because heaven has timed it down to the second. You were meant to hear this now, and you were chosen before you even pressed play. Heaven has watched you suffering quietly, and your spirit has been calling out for an answer. Your name has been spoken in the courts above, and this message is the proof you asked for. Type amen if you feel God is speaking to you right now. Listen, child, because someone believes they have taken what was meant for you. But heaven says that nothing stolen can survive in a place it was not ordained to exist. They think they replaced you. But destiny does not bend for the ambitions of another. They stepped into a space that glowed with your anointing, and they thought it was theirs to keep. But what is built on illusion must eventually collapse, and what is yours is returning with force. You were pushed aside, and you felt invisible, and you questioned your worth in the silence. You wondered why I allowed it, and why you had to watch someone else take what you prayed for. You cried alone, and heaven counted every tear, and not one of them was wasted. The angels have whispered your name, and your spirit has been heard even when your voice broke. You are not forgotten, and you are not replaced, and you are not standing at the end of your story. This is divine timing, and this revelation is being released because the shift is already moving. The woman who believes she took your place stepped into a position built on temporary power. She stepped into something shaped for you, sized for you, aligned for you from the beginning. But destiny cannot be worn like a borrowed garment, and stolen blessings burn the hands that hold them. You feel the tension because heaven is rearranging the pieces, and the reversal has begun. There is a spiritual reversal, and heaven is about to return you to the place that carries your name. What was taken will be restored, and what was blocked will be opened, and what was delayed will accelerate. You are being lifted, child, and the suffering you endured is becoming the doorway to your rise. Comment I receive IT if you're ready for your miracle. The angels are circling you, and they are clearing what was used against you in the dark. Every lie is being exposed, and every plot is dissolving, and every counterfeit is losing its grip. The one who tried to take your place never understood that favor is not transferable. They touched what was sacred, and they thought you were weak. But they never saw who walks beside you. Heaven walks with you, and the mantle you carry is older than your pain, older than your fears, older than your wounds. You are chosen, and the anointing on your life is awakening, and nothing can stop what I am setting in motion. You will rise again, and this time you will rise with clarity, with authority, and with divine protection. Your heart has been broken open, so I can pour something new into you. Something stronger, something eternal. You asked for a miracle, and you have been waiting for a sign. And this message is your confirmation. Heaven is about to reverse everything, and you will witness the justice you prayed for in silence. Stand still, child, because the shift is closer than you think, and the restoration will be undeniable. You are safe. You are held. You are rising, and nothing formed against you can rewrite what I have written. Stay with me to the end, because your breakthrough is already moving toward you even now. And when this message ends, listen to the next divine word, because heaven is not finished speaking to you. Child, the heavens are leaning in, and your spirit is finally ready to receive. The shift around you is real, and the pressure you feel is not punishment, but preparation. You have been stretched, and shaken, and challenged, and none of it was meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken the strength you forgot you carried, and the identity you stopped believing in. Someone thought they could step into your destiny, and they moved with confidence because they saw your silence. But silence is not weakness, and quiet souls often carry the loudest power. Type yes, Lord, if you open your heart to blessings today. You didn't fight back because your spirit was tired. And heaven understood that exhaustion. You let them talk, and you let them take, and you let them think they had won. But heaven took notes. You kept your heart soft when you could have hardened it. And you stayed truthful when lies surrounded you. You stayed kind when betrayal bruised you. And that kindness became your armor in the unseen realm. The one who tried to take your place mistook your humility for defeat. But they forgot who watches over you. Heaven has been watching everything unfold. And not one injustice slipped through the cracks of my sight. Your pain was recorded, and your loyalty was honored, and your patience has been stored like treasure. There's a time for sowing and a time for reaping. And child, you are stepping into your reaping season. You are standing in the hallway between loss and restoration, and the door ahead is about to open. The angels are already moving on your behalf, and what was stolen is being summoned back to you. You will not chase it, and you will not beg for it, because heaven is returning it with authority. Everything built on your name, but taken by another, is collapsing under divine weight, and it will fall suddenly. They built on a foundation that did not belong to them, and heaven does not allow thieves to prosper forever. They touched what was sacred, and sacred things carry spiritual consequences, and those consequences are here. You don't need revenge, because justice is already unfolding, and heaven's justice is perfect and complete. You don't need to expose them, because truth has a way of revealing itself at the exact moment it must. You don't need to chase validation, because I am validating you publicly after you trusted me privately. You stand in a moment where everything is shifting, and the shift may feel heavy, but it is holy. The pressure you feel is the weight of doors opening, not doors closing, and that weight is breaking old chains. You are being elevated, softly at first, then suddenly, and the sudden part is already on its way. Heaven is undoing the lie that you were replaceable, and heaven is restoring the truth of who you are. Your light is returning, and your confidence is returning, and your joy is returning with full strength. Where you felt forgotten, you will feel chosen, and where you felt alone, you will feel surrounded. The angels are encamping around you now, and you may not see them, but you will feel the shift in the air. The atmosphere around your life is changing, and old heaviness is breaking off piece by piece. A new clarity is rising in your spirit, and old confusion is dissolving like smoke in the wind. The path ahead of you is being cleared, and the obstacles that delayed you are now losing their power. You asked for direction, and it is coming, and when it arrives, it will be clear and undeniable. The woman who thought she took your place stepped into a blessing that was too big for her, and it will not hold. She took what glittered, not what was truly ordained. And illusion can only last for so long. You will not have to fight for what is yours, because heaven fights for you, and heaven never loses. All you must do is stay aligned, stay open, and stay ready, because what's coming will arrive fast. You will rise in such a way that even your enemies will wonder how it happened so suddenly. And when the reversal comes, it will be so complete that even you will whisper, "That was God." Rest now, child, because heaven is working in ways you cannot yet see, and the breakthrough is already written. Child, draw closer in your spirit now, because what I am about to reveal will settle something deep inside you. You have been battling questions that no one around you could answer, and heaven has carried those questions for you. You wondered why someone else was elevated while you were left in the shadows, and you felt the sting of being overlooked. You wondered why your heart broke while there seemed to rise, and you carried that pain silently like a secret wound. But hear me clearly, because the season of silent wounds is ending, and the season of divine revelation is beginning. The woman who thought she stepped into your position entered a place she was never spiritually prepared to hold. She moved with confidence. But confidence is not calling. And calling cannot be counterfeited. She stepped ahead of you by force. But destiny moves only by alignment. And alignment is returning you to your rightful space. You felt delayed. But you were truly being protected. And the protection will make sense very soon. I allowed the separation. Because elevation requires distance. And distance forms clarity. I moved you away from what would have damaged your spirit. And you mistook it for rejection. But heaven does not reject the chosen. Heaven repositions them. And you were being repositioned for something far bigger. The angels were holding you back from what looked good, but was not meant for your long-term destiny. You were shielded from hidden battles. And those battles would have drained the very light inside you. You didn't lose anything real, child, because nothing real can ever be taken from you. You only lost illusions. And illusions must fall before blessings can rise. The woman who thought she took your place stepped into something that carries a weight only you were built to handle. She saw opportunity, but she did not see the spiritual responsibility attached to it. And that responsibility is unraveling. She touched something anointed, and she did not understand the cost of touching what heaven has marked. You were not replaced. You were refined. And refinement is always painful before it is powerful. You walked through fire that others will never understand. And that fire purified what needed to awaken in you. Your heart is softer now. And your intuition is stronger now. And your spirit is wiser than it has ever been. You are not who you were before the betrayal. And this new version of you carries a weight the world will soon recognize. Heaven is rewriting the script. And what looked like an ending is becoming the most unexpected beginning. There's movement around your life that you cannot see. And that movement is shifting everything in your favor. People will wonder how doors open for you so effortlessly. And they will not know the battles fought on your behalf. They will not see the angels that surrounded you, or the nights heaven carried your spirit when you felt empty. But the evidence will be undeniable, because when heaven restores, it restores in abundance, never in fragments. What was taken from you will return multiplied, and what was delayed will arrive accelerated. The first will become last, and the last will become first. And this reversal is already unfolding in real time. You are stepping into a season where the things meant for you will find you without struggle or striving. Your spirit has been prepared, and your heart has been softened, and your path has been cleared. All that remains is the moment of manifestation, and that moment is closer than your doubts want you to believe. Heaven is about to reverse everything, and the reversal will reveal why you had to endure so much pain in silence. I am bringing back everything with clarity, with purpose, and with divine order, and you will stand where you were always meant to stand. Rest your heart, because nothing was stolen, nothing was lost, and nothing that carries your name can ever belong to another. And when this message settles in your spirit, stay with me for the next one. Because heaven has more to speak over your destiny. Child, breathe for a moment, because heaven is not only speaking to you, but healing you as you listen. There are wounds inside you that have been waiting for this very moment, and those wounds are beginning to release their pain. You have carried disappointment like a hidden weight, and you disguised it with strength even when your heart was breaking. You stood firm on the outside, but inside you questioned your worth. And those questions reached the throne long before this message did. I saw every moment when you wondered why you weren't chosen. And I watched every tear you wiped quickly so no one would notice. You thought you were forgotten, but heaven never forgets the faithful. And you were faithful even in your heartbreak. The woman who thought she took your place only saw the surface. And she never saw the spiritual depth woven into your destiny. She stepped into something that shines publicly, but she cannot carry what you carry privately. And that difference is everything. Your anointing comes from your suffering, and your strength was forged in battles no one else survived. You are not easily shaken anymore, and that unshakable spirit is why this blessing belongs to you. The shift you feel is the unraveling of what she tried to build without divine permission, and that unraveling will be swift. What looks stable from the outside is trembling on the inside, because heaven is removing her from a position that was never hers. You don't need to expose her, because exposure is coming, and truth always arrives with divine timing. You don't need to chase validation, because heaven is about to validate you publicly in a way no one can deny. Your heart has stayed pure even when you were hurt, and purity is a weapon that darkness cannot imitate. You loved honestly, even after betrayal, and that honesty is rising like a shield around you. You stayed loyal when others shifted, and loyalty is the currency that heaven rewards in overflowing measure. Your blessing was delayed but never denied, and delay often means heaven is building something bigger behind the scenes. You were being protected from people who would have drained your soul, and that protection will make sense very soon. The circle around you is shaken, because not everyone could walk with you into the next season, and separation was necessary. You lost people you cared about, and the loss felt cruel, but heaven removed them to clear your path for something greater. Your spirit outgrew what you were attached to, and growth often looks like loss before it looks like elevation. The woman who thought she replaced you stepped into a role she cannot carry, and the spiritual weight is already revealing cracks. What is not meant for someone will always poison them, and the bitterness you feel around the situation is not coming from you. It is coming from the imbalance heaven is correcting, and that correction is unfolding in silence. Your peace was shaken, but it is returning stronger than before, and you will not walk into the next chapter wounded. Healing is happening now, even as you read this, and the heaviness you've been feeling is beginning to loosen. You are not broken, child. You are being rebuilt, and what is being rebuilt in you is stronger than what was lost. You are stepping into a season where the truth will align with your spirit, and clarity will replace confusion. You will finally see why I separated you, why I delayed you, and why I protected you from what you thought you wanted. Heaven is reversing everything, and the reversal will not only restore you, but elevate you beyond where you stood before. The blessing coming toward you is not a replacement blessing. It is a divine upgrade, and it carries your true identity. What was meant for you is returning with acceleration, and it will arrive in a form more powerful than you imagined. Rest in me now, because the battle is ending, and the breakthrough is coming, and your spirit will recognize it when it appears. Child, open your heart wider now, because heaven is about to touch the places in you that you never speak of. There are memories you tucked away because they hurt too deeply, and those memories are rising only so they can finally be healed. You have carried disappointment in silence, and silence has been both your shield and your prison. Your heart learned to protect itself, but in that protection you also learned to expect pain. And heaven is undoing that expectation now. You are not meant to live bracing for heartbreak, and the fear that someone will hurt you again is beginning to leave your spirit. You have walked through storms that others never saw, and the strength you gained in those storms is now becoming your mantle. The woman who thought she took your place only saw the surface of your life, and she mistook your quiet strength for emptiness. But child, the quiet ones are the ones I hide, and I hide them because they carry diamonds inside their spirit. Your value was never determined by who chose you or who left you, and heaven is rewriting your identity in your own eyes. You thought losing what you loved meant you were unworthy, but the truth is that you were too spiritually rare for what you were losing. The path you walk requires depth, and not everyone can travel where you are going, and that is why the separation happened. You were not replaced. You were redirected. And that redirection is becoming the key to your next breakthrough. The woman who tried to step ahead of you grabbed what glittered, not what was blessed. And glitter fades quickly in the light of truth. She stepped into a space held together by illusion. And illusions collapse when heaven breathes. And heaven has begun to breathe on this situation. And the collapse has already started even if you cannot see it yet. You will hear things soon. And those things will reveal what was hidden. And what is revealed will finally free your heart. You will understand that you were protected from deeper pain. And protection can feel like rejection until truth appears. You do not see it yet. But heaven sees the entire tapestry of your life. And the threads are coming together beautifully. Your patience in this season is rare. And heaven honors rare hearts with rare blessings. And yours is approaching quickly. Every day you stayed kind mattered. And every time you held your tongue mattered. And every gentle choice you made is being rewarded. You did not retaliate. And you did not seek revenge. And your restraint became a seed that heaven is now multiplying. The blessing forming for you is not ordinary. It is tailored to your spirit, shaped by your tears, and refined by your endurance. You were not forgotten but preserved. And preservation always precedes promotion. And promotion is already moving toward you. Your spirit feels the tremble because your elevation is near. And the tremble is not fear, but divine sensitivity awakening. The angels around you are repositioning things in the unseen. And what they are preparing will shift your entire story. You will stand in a place that once felt unreachable. And you will wonder how the path opened so suddenly. But sudden miracles are the specialty of heaven. And your life is about to experience one. The woman who thought she took your place is about to witness the reversal. And the reversal will be undeniable and swift. Not to shame her, but to show you that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a destiny that carries divine markings. You are rising now, even in this moment. And the heaviness is lifting because the season of mourning is ending. Joy is returning. And identity is returning. And hope is returning in ways you did not expect. Hold on gently, because heaven is nearing. And the light around your life is beginning to shift. You will not end in loss. You will rise in abundance. And the story will turn so beautifully that you will hardly remember the pain. Child, listen closely now, because heaven is opening a deeper layer of truth, and your heart is finally ready to hear it. You have been wondering why certain doors closed so painfully, and why the people you trusted drifted away so suddenly. You questioned if you did something wrong, and you replayed moments in your mind trying to understand what shifted. But child, the shift was not your fault. The shift was alignment. And alignment always removes what cannot stay. You were not abandoned. You were separated. And separation is the tool heaven uses to protect chosen souls. You asked for clarity. And clarity sometimes begins with loss. Because not everything meant for your journey can walk beside you. The woman who thought she took your place was never a threat. And she was never your replacement. Because destiny is sacred. She stepped into a moment, not a mission, and moments fade quickly when the mission was never hers. She moved forward boldly, but boldness is not blessing, and she mistook opportunity for ownership. What she holds now is slipping, because heaven does not anchor the hands of those who attempt to steal what is sealed. Nothing stolen can remain stable, and nothing taken through ego can survive divine timing. Her elevation was temporary, and temporary things crumble when the eternal begins to rise. And the eternal is you. Your spirit carries a calling that cannot be replaced. And that calling is beginning to glow stronger around you. You may not see the glow, but others will feel it. And even your presence will begin to shift atmospheres. There is a reason you felt invisible for a season. And that reason is that heaven was hiding you for protection. Hiddenness is not rejection. Child, Hiddenness is preparation, and you were being prepared for something larger than you imagined. While they moved loudly, you grew quietly, and quiet growth is the kind that produces unstoppable strength. You learned endurance, and you learned patience, and you learned faith in the dark, and faith learned in darkness carries power in light. You have matured spiritually in ways that others cannot understand, and that maturity is unlocking your next season. You are not the same person who once cried for clarity, because wisdom has entered you through the doorway of pain. That wisdom will guide you, protect you, elevate you, and usher you into blessings that carry heaven's fingerprint. The woman who thought she took your place is beginning to feel the weight of what she tried to carry. And that weight is not hers. What is not aligned will always feel heavy. And that heaviness will expose what was never authentic. Truth is rising, and truth does not need your help. Because truth moves with divine authority and perfect timing. You will hear things soon, conversations, confessions, revelations, and those things will lift confusion off your heart completely. You will look back and finally understand why I allowed things to unfold the way they did. And the understanding will bring peace. You are stepping into a season where the things meant for you will not require struggle, and blessings will come with ease. The chaos behind you is breaking off, and the peace ahead of you is forming, and heaven is guiding every step. Your steps are being ordered now, even in this moment, and the alignment will feel supernatural when it arrives. You will see signs, and those signs will confirm the shift, and the confirmation will strengthen your spirit. Prepare yourself gently, because restoration is not coming quietly. Restoration is coming loudly and publicly. Heaven is about to lift your name in places where you were once ignored. And honor is replacing humiliation. You will stand in the spot meant for you, and no one will be able to question it, and no one will be able to interfere. Your heart is being lifted now, and your spirit is being refreshed, and the heaviness is falling off like old dust. You are rising, child, and you are rising beautifully, and nothing can stop the divine reversal forming around your life. And when this message settles deep into your soul, stay for the next one, because heaven is still speaking breakthrough over you. Child, draw your spirit closer now, because heaven is preparing to uncover the truth behind your delay, and this truth will free you. You have wondered why everything seemed to fall apart at once, and why peace slipped from your hands when you needed it most. You questioned if you were being punished, and you questioned if life was being unfair, and those questions exhausted you. But child, what felt like destruction was actually divine construction, and the breaking was making room for something new. You were not being torn down, you were being rebuilt, and rebuilding always begins with removing what no longer fits your future. The woman who thought she took your place does not understand what it means to be chosen, and chosen paths cannot be hijacked. She stepped into your space without spiritual permission, and what enters without permission must eventually exit by force. You felt her presence like a shadow over your destiny, but shadows disappear when true light returns, and your light is returning. This situation was never about her. It was always about your transformation. And transformation always begins in hidden places. You were being refined in silence, and silence became the sanctuary where heaven shaped your next chapter. The world did not see your growth, but heaven saw every moment you chose faith over fear. And those moments matter. Every tear you cried became a seed, and seeds planted in pain bloom into blessings planted in purpose. You are about to bloom in ways that even you cannot fully imagine, and the bloom will be visible to everyone who doubted you. You have outgrown the pain that once held you, and that growth is pulling you into a higher spiritual dimension. What once broke you no longer defines you, and what once scared you no longer controls you. And heaven celebrates that shift. The woman who tried to replace you stands on unstable ground. Because she built her confidence on something that wasn't hers. You built your strength in the dark. But she built her confidence in the spotlight. And spotlights always dim eventually. Her elevation was loud. But your elevation will be lasting. And lasting elevation always outshines temporary applause. What she grabbed in haste is slipping. And what you waited for in patience is forming with divine precision. Your name is rising again. And your spirit is being lifted. And what was lost is returning with greater glory. Do not fear the shifts happening around you. Because these shifts are divine. And everything is being rearranged for your good. You are stepping into alignment now. And alignment feels like peace returning to places that used to ache. Your heart is healing quietly. And healing always comes before elevation. And elevation is close. You will soon see why the separation was needed. And the revelation will settle the heaviness inside you. The truth will appear suddenly. And when it comes, it will feel like a breath of clarity entering your soul. Your path is unfolding beautifully, even if you cannot yet see the full picture. And heaven is guiding every step. There's a divine appointment waiting for you. And this appointment cannot be missed, because it is woven into your destiny. The same God who saw the betrayal is the God who is preparing the blessing. And the blessing will outweigh the pain. You will rise in a way that feels effortless. And the ease will surprise you after all the battles you fought silently. Heaven is reversing everything quietly at first. Then suddenly, and the sudden part is almost here. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where I need you to be for what comes next. Rest in this, child, because the breakthrough is closer than the fear whispers. And you will not miss what is yours. Child, quiet your heart now, because heaven is preparing to reveal what you could not see before. And your spirit is ready for truth. You have been living with unanswered questions, and those questions have weighed heavily on you in the late hours of the night. You tried to move forward, but part of your heart stayed stuck in the moment everything shifted, and you couldn't understand why. But child, that moment did not break you. It awakened you, and awakening often feels like heartbreak before it feels like clarity. You were shaken so that nothing weak would remain in you. And what is left now is strong, steady, and spiritually aligned. The woman who thought she took your place only walked into an empty space, not a destined throne. Because thrones are spiritual. She entered quickly, but quick entrances often lead to quick exits. And her exit is already forming behind the scenes. She felt powerful for a moment, but power borrowed is not power kept. And heaven does not sustain what is out of alignment. You felt like the outsider watching your own blessing being handed to someone else. And that pain pierced your identity. You wondered if you were unworthy, or unseen, or somehow not chosen enough. And those thoughts wounded you deeply. But those were lies whispered into your spirit during a season of vulnerability. And heaven is erasing those lies now. You were not overlooked. You were being protected from timing that was too early. And early timing destroys unprepared hearts. Your heart needed healing, and your spirit needed strengthening. And both are happening beautifully as you read these words. What she stepped into was not your final destiny, because what is yours is bigger, deeper, and divinely designed. The space she took was only a fragment. And fragments cannot contain the full blessing heaven has shaped for you. She reached for your portion, but she could never carry your purpose. And purpose always wins in the end. Your purpose is ancient, written long before the betrayal, and no one can rewrite what heaven has sealed. You are stepping into a season where everything stolen will be restored, and everything delayed will be accelerated. You will rise in the very area where you were wounded, and that rise will be your testimony and your triumph. The people who doubted you will witness your elevation, and the people who replaced you will watch your return. Your comeback is not a quiet one. It is a divine reversal, and heaven has already signed a release for it. Every tear you cried is now becoming a key, and those keys are unlocking doors that were shut painfully before. You are entering a season where it will feel like everything suddenly makes sense, and the confusion finally breaks.